The Last Man on Earth started the idea of these slow-moving mobs attacking the living. Night of the Living Dead made them slow-moving cannibals, where if they bite you, you turn into one. And then Night City came along in 1980 and said, hey, why don't we just make them fast, have them drink blood, and let's just give them weapons. When an airplane with passengers on board who are exposed to radiation lands in the Italian countryside, they emerge from the plane shooting, stabbing, and sucking the blood of any living soul around them, taking over a city and turning it into Nightmare City. First off, right off the bat, one of the best names for a movie ever. I don't care the genre. Nightmare City is an A+ title. So whoever came up with that name, hats off to you. You nailed it. But now, the elephant in the room with some of the movies we've done, which includes this one, are the creatures in this movie zombies? Are they vampires? Are they mutants? Honestly, why not all three? I don't know what you would classify the creatures in this movie as, but we are saying this movie fits into the zombie genre. So for our purpose for this movie, they are strictly the undead. This is a very good movie. That being said, the zombie makeup is just awful. And almost everyone we see killed in the movie is cut across the neck very viciously, or it's the complete opposite where the camera is panning across a room and we just see everyone dead that just has a tiny little bit of blood on their face. The zombies we see in the movie are just brutally slicing, shooting, and biting people, but for some reason, everyone they kill off screen just has a little bit of blood on their cheek, or maybe a little line of blood right here, or a little blood at the side of their mouth. We never see a zombie kill anybody where that would be the injury we see on them. The movie starts with our hero, Dean Miller, played by Hugo Stiglitz, nailed it, who is a journalist that is meeting with a nuclear scientist at the airport. He grabs his trusty cameraman and they are watching as the plane lands. But when the plane does land, gross-looking radioactive zombies hop off the plane and just start murdering everyone in sight. Dean and his cameraman stand there for a comically long time and just watch the carnage before finally deciding we probably shouldn't be standing here and run off. I don't know what happens to the cameraman, but the journalist Dean rushes to his news station and interrupts a dance music show to do a special breaking news bulletin about the massacre he just witnessed at the airport. But it's stopped by just a random military guy who shows up at the news station and basically goes, guys, we don't know what happened, but we need to investigate, so you actually can't tell anyone about this. And then Dean gives this impassioned speech about the ethics of journalism, and the owner of the news station just does the, I want your badge and your gun on my desk, cliche from like cop movies, but the guy's a journalist, so he just is like, Dean, just go home. I guess you're fired. We don't want this trouble, but he does it very dramatically. Now, because this is an Italian film from the 80s, I'm Italian, so I'm not throwing any shade. But because it's an Italian film from the 80s, you know what that means. Just really long shots that have nothing to do with the plot or really the movie itself and don't make sense in the context of the film. All of those scenes of this movie take place at an army general's house with his wife, Sheila Holmes, played by Maria Rosaria Omaggio, nailed it, where we see Sheila, she makes clay figures and she comes upstairs one time after a very tension-filled segment of the movie, and the clay figure of a man's face is just on the ground with a knife in his head, and the music swells, close up on her face, terrified, and then we just cut away, which makes no sense. Now these zombie mutated freaks are just taunting only this one lady. Everyone else they kill without hesitation, without a second of thought. But just this one lady they decide to taunt. Also, at one point, her husband calls her, the general, and is just like, hey, lock the house down, don't go outside, and don't open it for anyone. So she then immediately lets a neighbor into her house, who later dies. And then Sheila also runs outside, and a lawnmower is just going by itself. I'm not saying all those things aren't creepy. They are. I just don't know in the context of the movie what they're supposed to mean. Like the lawnmower thing. What does that mean? The guy is stabbed in the head. Like, okay, like what does that mean? I don't get it. Back to the journalist, Dean, where we see him go to the hospital to save his wife. A doctor does this, which made me laugh out loud. Is my favorite part of the movie. And then the hospital gets overrun by zombies. Dean and his wife, Dr. Anna Miller, played by Laura Trotter, then take a hearse and are just driving the Italian countryside where they find a gas station that they decide to just have a cigarette and a coffee at while talking about the philosophical implications of how humans got to the point of a zombie apocalypse. Honestly, it's pretty good stuff. And it's pretty good stuff that I always like in zombie movies where real world discussions are taking place trying to explain how society got to this point. Then the discussion ends where Dean and Anna have to blow up their car when zombies interrupt their little brunch date, and then they just end up running to a nearby theme park. So then at this point, we cut back to the general returning home to Sheila, who is a zombie that he kind of without hesitation just shoots her in the head. Then he shoots her again and it blows her head off. And then she falls down to the ground and her head is fine. She just has the bullet hole. So she's definitely dead at this point. That whole part was really goofy and the head being blown off was shocking, but the effect was really weird, even by like 1980 standards. It's not the best head blow off you're ever going to see. Now cut back to Dean and Anna at the theme park. They are running up the roller coaster. The general now has a helicopter and spots Dean and Anna. They throw a rope down to them where they're at the top of this roller coaster to climb up. And right when it happened in my brain, I go, climbing up a rope like that high in the air seems like a bad idea. And sure enough, it was, because in the most shocking moment in the film, Anna slips and falls off the rope, crashing to the ground as Dean screams in agony. And right there, I was legitimately shocked. I couldn't believe that was how the movie ended. And then, bam, Dean wakes up. He had a nightmare about a city. You know, like the title of the movie. And then we just get a repeat of the first 5 minutes of the movie and we see the plane landing and are left wondering if that was a nightmare or maybe a premonition. Until the credits just come up and say the nightmare becomes reality, which adds nothing to the movie. Why not just leave it open-ended? Like, why not just leave the audience guessing, oh, did he see what was about to happen? Was that just a nightmare? Is that really what happens? Instead, they just go like, no, that nightmare is just about to become real. He just had a premonition. Apparently, he knew everything that was going to happen in that nightmare, and then it didn't change his course of the day at all. There you have it. Nightmare City, 1980. Pretty damn good film with some weird stuff in it, with some funny stuff in it. Replay of the doctor throwing a needle at the zombie. Why does he do that? Why is that his first move? I don't know, but I love it. Tomorrow we're actually going to have 3 films up. I've already watched 2 of them. One being Zombie, the 1979 film, the other being World War Z with Brad Pitt, and then also Night of the Creeps, as we finish the 31 Days of Horror Hullabaloo on Monday. 5 more movies to go. We're trucking to the end right here. We're going to get to it. Monday, I'll also most likely be doing a special where we talk about this month and what it has been for zombie movies, which ones surprised me the most, which ones I liked the most, which ones were the worst. We'll rank them all. So join me right here tomorrow where we get more zombie movies, then Monday where we do the finale. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. Adios.